Man, building a basement is just so easy and cheap. So today I'd like to talk about the tale of two drainage systems here in our basement build. Let's get to it. So while there's a debate on what's the most important of the two, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the most important is gonna be our sewage sump pump, because that's really gonna get all of our crap, literally and figuratively, out of the hole and to our main sewer line to be able to get to city sewer. And so we have all of our plumbing and sewage lines, our underground plumbing, going to this sewer sump, which allows us to be able to get all of our waste, which includes 2 bathrooms and a washer and a dryer, particularly a washer, down here to be able to essentially use a centrifuge to be able to emulsify everything and pump it straight up and into our city sewer so that it can be gravity fed for the existing way out of our lot, as would be normal for any of our sewage systems on a single level home. And I would say that this is the most important because obviously you want to make sure that it's done right and that it's working properly, especially when turning the keys over to the homeowner, because that's the last thing you want is any sewage backup in a low portion, specifically in the basement of your home. This is something that is going to require maintenance, and it's something that you're going to want to stay on top of to be able to ensure that there's no issues with any sewage backup down here at the basement level. To be able to make this come to fruition, we had a long run that was about 60 feet. So we have our standard 1/4 inch drop per foot to be able to get our sewage lines to this pump. And so this actually has an 18-inch extension on it so that we can be able to get the appropriate drop that's necessary to get all of our sewage into this system. And the reason for the 18-inch extension is for ease and accessibility for servicing the unit. As mentioned, I think I'm gonna stick with my guns on this one and say that this is the most important thing to have in a basement if you're gonna have any sewage reside down here. Think bathrooms, sinks, or laundries that are residing at a lower level. However, a close second is gonna be our drainage sump. So let's talk a little bit about some of the details that go into building our drainage sump for our clear water. I currently reside on the exterior patio of this walkout basement, and it's gonna be spectacular. This is actually a planter box where we decided to hide our drainage sump. And as mentioned in a previous video, which you go check out, we have a French drain pipe that runs a perimeter of this property, as well as waterproofing and a drainage mat on the outside that allows all that water to travel down to that French drain system, penetrate through the wall, and come to our drainage sump here. However, because of the exterior patio, we also have a French drain system running the perimeter of the exterior patio, as well as some redundancy. If there was ever a leak in the wall, we actually have a French drain system that's underneath the overall slab. So if any water penetrated or we had any groundwater, which probably is a long shot here in Arizona, it would essentially work its way through the pipe and land into our drainage system, which allows for us to be able to pump that water out with a 2-inch pipe to our grading and drainage plane that's at the main level, and allows it to be able to be retained into a catch basin before leaving the property if we ever hit what would be considered flood levels, or if our owner on this lot took a little bit too much flood irrigation, given the fact that this is a flood irrigated lot. We would be able to ensure that the water gets to the appropriate location. And while I do think that waterproofing is one of the most critical components of a basement structure, I still think that getting sewage out versus water is probably more critical to the client. So we appreciate you following today. That's the tale of two sump systems. We appreciate you following along. Hit that subscribe button below, and as always, have a great day.